Hey man, how's it going?
Hey, how we going, boss?
Good, good. What's up?
Do you want to talk to an atheist?
About what?
I just saw you didn't have many people talking yet. So, I used to be a Christian. I am not a Muslim, but I'm more of an agnostic atheist.
Okay. What do you want to talk about?
Um, Convince me. Why should I become a Muslim?
Well, do you believe in God?
I do not.
Okay. Well, how do you ground truth?
I think truth is subjective. Um, Truth is relative based on who you're talking to and in the environment that you're in.
Well, I'm talking about eternal truth, necessary truth,
Necessary truth, like what? Math, physics, things like that.
laws of logic, math, you name it.
Sure. But I think we can get to that truth without God.
But that's what I'm asking. How do you ground the laws of logic, for example?
Um,
But because okay, maybe let me just clarify my question.
Yep.
Truth is an abstract thing, yes?
Yes.
Meaning it's not something that we could sense with our five senses. It's abstract, it only exists in the mind. Yes?
Sure.
Good. Now we know that the laws of logic exist in every possible world because they're necessary. Yes?
I disagree with that.
Okay. So is there a possible world where the law of identity isn't the case?
I think we don't know what's going on with every world, so that argument is.
Well, actually, we do know. That's what we call an axiom. So, what a necessary truth is a truth that cannot be otherwise.
No, I
Right?
know them. Yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, can it be the case in a possible world where there is one object to the left, one object to the right, and yet there isn't two objects?
To answer that, since we're referring to God here, I think if there's an all-powerful, all-knowing God, in this case, that could be possible if God wanted it
What
to
could
be.
be possible?
So let's just refer to an all-powerful God. If an all-powerful God is indeed all-powerful, he creates logic.
It doesn't create logic.
So we're not going to go with that. Okay, let's find common ground here. So are we using logic just in the terms as we define it, or
No,
how do you want to?
the laws of logic are axioms. They're not
Mhm.
created. They eternally exist and they're grounded by God. This is our position. Okay.
Yeah, no, I disagree with that. I think
So
human
yeah, I
beings.
understand, but that's the argument that I'm posing. So I know you disagree with the conclusion, but that's why I'm arguing for the conclusion.
Sure.
Okay. So when it comes to the laws of logic, okay, for example, let's take the law of identity. Something is identical to itself. A is A,
Mhm.
right? Can there be a possible world where A is not A?
I
And
don't
A here is a placeholder. It's just a variable for
I mean, without getting too pedantic, and for the sake of conversation, let's just say no. No, it's not possible.
Yeah, it's not possible because it's an axiom. It's true in every possible world. If something exists, then it must be itself. To say that it's not itself is to contradict the
I'm listening.
axiom that is the
My
law of
dog's
identity.
barking. I'm listening. Go ahead.
No problem. So here's the argument. Okay. You have a set of eternal necessary truths.
Mhm.
Truths that cannot fail to be the case. If these truths are necessary in every world and eternal, okay, meaning we cannot conceive of a possible world where it's not the case, and these truths are abstract, they only exist in minds. A contingent mind cannot ground a necessary truth because a contingent mind does not exist in every possible world. And necessary truth exists in every possible world. Therefore, in order for a necessary truth to exist, it must be grounded by a necessary mind that exists in every possible world. Which premise do you disagree with?
Sorry, my dog is going crazy there. My wife.
It's okay.
So the two things I heard, the one I'll focus on is you were talking about the mind, how we conceive things and perceive things in the mind. Can you elaborate on that part a little bit more?
Okay. So remember when we talked about truths being abstract?
Yep.
Okay. Meaning they cannot be sensed by the five senses. You cannot touch 2 + 2 is 4. You cannot hear it. You cannot see it. You cannot smell it. You cannot taste it. Okay. It exists in the mind, right? And because 2 + 2 is 4 is a necessary truth, meaning it is not contingent. It exists in every possible world, right? It must be grounded by a mind. Because truths, abstract things, only exist in minds. So if this truth is necessary and a contingent mind cannot ground that which is necessary, there must be a necessary mind to ground all necessary truths. Which premise do you disagree with? And if you don't, then you must agree with the conclusion.
What I would say to that is I think everybody develops their own truth. We use truth in different ways. The Christian would say their truths are one way, and the Muslims would say it differently. And, you know, a skeptic or a seeker would look at truths in a different way. So I think it can't just be concrete. I mean, our minds and minds throughout history have conceived what concepts of truth are, going back, you know, when Christianity was formed. Or I think Muslim, that faith, right around 600-700, right around there.
Yeah, but I'm talking about necessary truths.
So necessary truths, the only necessary truths that I see that still change to this day are going to be basically anything STEM, mathematics, physics,
okay,
science.
Good.
Like
so is that a necessary truth?
I think it's necessary if we want to advance.
And no. So I don't think you understand when I say necessary, I'm invoking possible world semantics. I'm invoking a modal system. Okay? When I say necessary, meaning it cannot fail to obtain. It cannot possibly not exist. You understand? So is that the case for math?
Not today, no.
Okay. So can you conceive of a world where the expression 2 + 2 is 4 is not the case?
Sure.
Okay. Just show me. Can you demonstrate that for me, please?
You want me to show you a world where 2 + 2 is not 4?
No, demonstrate how that's conceivable. What does it mean for a world or what does it mean for 2 + 2 to not be 4 in a possible world?
Sure, 300,000. I mean, I only know the history of this world. I assume that life evolves the way it does.
Oh my God, we're not. You need to understand. When I say possible world, I'm talking about what you can conceive of, where there's no contradiction.
I can conceive of a world where there's a mind through an evolved body that cannot conceive.
Where 2 + 2 is not 4?
I think at a certain point, intelligence gets us to a place where we know what 2 + 2 = 4 is, but there's still an adolescent time before that where we don't have the mental capacity to do so.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking whether we have the mental capacity to reach a conclusion. I'm talking about the conclusion itself. Can there be a possible world where there is 2, or let's say 1 + 1 is 2, object A, object B, them together not being two objects?
I agree with you that 1 + 1 is 2.
In
and
every
2 +
possible
2 is
world.
4.
In every conceivable world.
If
One
the
object here and one object there is two objects.
I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying there's some a 1-year-old does not know that
That's
1
okay.
+ 1 is 2.
That has nothing to do with my point. But regardless,
Okay.
it would be true even if the 1-year-old can't conceive of it or can't comprehend it.
Sure.
Yes?
Okay.
Good. Do you agree that truths must be grounded by a mind?
Sure.
Good. Okay. So if necessary truths like 1 + 1 exist, and truths are abstract, therefore they must be grounded by a mind, then there must be a necessary mind to ground 1 + 1 is 2 in every possible world.
Let's go for it.
So you just conceded to God, man.
That's not anything to do with God.
That is literally so you just conceded that there is a necessary mind.
A mind.
There is
we
there's
have
a
I'm not conceding there is like a first starter, an
no,
original.
that's what it is. Definition.
That's not what you
just
said.
conceded
You
to.
said a mind.
Yeah, the mind is necessary, meaning the mind exists in every possible world and cannot fail to obtain. So,
Right, so
you just conceded a entity that is conscious intelligence that grounds truths. That's
No,
what
I
we call God.
No, I conceded minds like ours who can understand that concept.
Is that mind necessary?
Is the minds in our head
No.
necessary?
Is the mind that grounds 1 + 1 is 2 in every possible world? Is that mind necessary?
We need an evolved brain to be able to do that mathematics, yes.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the mind that grounds 1 + 1 is 2 in every world.
If you want to say it's God, you're going to have to show me that God is real.
You just conceded to God. That's the
I
point,
did not
dude.
say the words that God is real.
I know you didn't say God. It's okay. You don't need to say God. You gave the definition of a God, of a
I did
deity.
not give the definition of a
The
God.
definition of God for us is the necessary being that is that all contingent things depend on. You just conceded that.
That's great. That's your definition, but I can speak to many other people, and you know this, that are going to give you completely different definitions of what that is. So who am I supposed to believe?
What is that? You're speaking to me. I'm giving you my definition of God.
Right. So there still is facts that there are millions and billions of other people, if they were here, would say something different. So
Doesn't matter if they say something different. The point is, you conceded a necessary eternal being.
You're putting words in my mouth. I don't mean to speak over with you. You keep saying that.
But that's what you said. You said
I agree
2
that there
+ 2,
needs
1 + 1 is 2. That's necessary. It exists in every world. You conceded that abstract truths or abstract ideas or concepts must be grounded by minds. If this abstract truth exists in every world, then it's grounded by a mind in every world. A mind that exists in every world is necessary, therefore you conceded, to a necessary being, eternal, and grounds all knowledge.
Yeah, no, you keep repeating it. That's what you conceded. I'll be respectful. And what I'm going to be just forthright about what I'm trying to say is that our minds, every single person's mind, the truth is in the lens on how they see reality. How I see reality and how you see reality are two completely different things.
So
how that minds are, I mean, you see it. There are people that literally believe 2 + 2 does not equal 5. If you're talking,
has nothing to do with my argument, though, man. And you wanna jump in and say something?
Sure.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that
you're
doesn't push
you're
Yeah.
using a presupposition that said God is real and nothing else can be explained without God. That's not
He's,
how we look at
he's
reality, and that's
explaining
not
to
how we
you.
find truth.
Doyle, he's explaining to you that there's analytic truths, all right?
Mhm.
Something that's true by the meaning of the words alone, all right? Like if we talk about a triangle, we're going to say analytically it follows that a triangle is going to have three sides, or all bachelors are unmarried men, or what he said, 2 + 2 = 4. All right, this is analytically true. This is a necessary truth. So whenever we're talking about what grounds these truths, right? And you come over here and you tell us that depends on the mind, and this depends on the perspective, and this depends on the subjective reality of what a mind conceives of. No, we're telling you that there's one ultimate objective reality, right? And then there's your own subjective reality where you have all these whatever may be synthetic truths or unnecessary truths that correspond to your mind. All right, we're telling you that there's an independent, self-sufficient, necessary being that grounds this truth, and this truth is necessary. All right, and there's not much more to it. All right.
Sure.
Now, whenever it talks,
My position is that everything is subjective and there is no objectivity.
so you're confused. That's all you're telling us.
So you think everything is subjective?
I think even taking an objective stance is a subjective statement.
Why is murder wrong in your worldview?
It's subjective.
So it's not wrong?
There could be reasons to murder.
I didn't ask that. I said murder in of itself, is it inherently wrong?
I think murder is wrong.
Not
And
what you think. Is murder in of itself wrong?
I'm answering your question.
No, but you're telling me I think. Well, I know you think that, but is murder in of itself wrong?
It's subjective.
So it's not wrong in of itself.
It can be wrong and it can be right.
I'm not asking that. I said murder in of itself, is it wrong?
How is my answer not an answer?
Because you're saying it can be wrong and it can be right. You're saying then it's conditional, and that's still objective. Because you're saying in this condition, it's objectively true. In that circumstance, it's objectively false.
No.
But you just said there's no objectivity. You're
Sure.
confusing me here. So is murder in of itself wrong?
Let me answer with an example. I have a family.
Okay.
If one of my family members was done harm in this way,
Yeah.
I would feel justified in a certain situation to
Well,
do
I'm not
that.
asking how you feel. I'm asking about murder in of itself, independent of you. Is it wrong?
And we're talking about human murder, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I think in most cases we can see that murder is wrong, yes.
All right. What grounds that? That's an objective truth.
It's a subjective opinion.
You
Murder-
just, I didn't ask you what you think. I asked you, in of itself, is it wrong?
Listen, I get a little bit more philosophical with this. I don't think it can be black and white.
Oh my God. Okay. There's a difference between saying, I think my personal opinion is I wouldn't murder. Okay, fine, we get that. You're not a killer. We got that out of the way. But murder as a thing in of itself, can it be wrong? Is it wrong?
Murder can
Yeah.
be and often is wrong, yes.
All right, and what grounds that? Because you just made a claim to objective truth.
What grounds it? I'll tell you what grounds it.
Sure.
What grounds it is my knowledge of history, the universities that I've attended.
But you said it's, so is it objective or subjective?
It's subjective because
So it's- all right, so-
let me answer.
Just before that, what is define subjective for me? Because I don't think
subjective.
Yeah.
It's open to interpretation.
That's not nope.
Let me finish, man. It's subjective. It's the opposite of objective. Objective meaning there's a solid one. It's defined. It is true. There's one thing behind it.
Yeah, that's still not the definition. Okay,
Give me your
It's not-
definition.
it's not my definition. That definition of subjective is independent
Right.
of any mind, of any personal opinion, or
Where are you getting that?
stance independent. Okay, you could go on the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. You can go on
So I'm just looking up
any
Oxford. I'm looking up
any
Oxford
definition.
right now. Oxford
Yeah, look it up.
says based on the influence or personal feelings.
Exactly. That's what I just said. So it is to make it
There
short.
was no word. Hold on. There was no word independent in that subjective. It said based on or.
I didn't
influence.
say independent. So
You said the word
objective.
independent.
Okay, objective is stance independent. Subjective is stance dependent.
Okay.
You understand?
Sure.
So that which is objective is stance independently true, meaning it is true regardless of what anyone thinks. Subjective is stance dependent, meaning it depends on what someone thinks
And I
or how they
think
feel.
Right.
All right.
And
Good.
I think everything is
So-
subjective. Yes.
Good. So is murder stance independently wrong?
I'm going to give you the same answer.
It's a yes or no. It's a straight dichotomy.
Murder is subjectively wrong.
Is murder stance independently wrong?
So I don't know the audience you normally talk to, but like I'm not gonna. Murder is subjective. If you go to,
So you're
South
just choosing to
Africa-
not answer the question?
I answered the question. If you
Nope,
go
you're
to
not.
a group of people that are mining minerals in a cave where one just recently collapsed, they're going to have different views on different things that you may or may not call objective. It's completely relevant.
It has
how
nothing to
old
do
you
with that,
are,
man.
where you live, what you believe in.
I'm just trying to find out if murder is stance independently wrong.
Stance or stance?
Stance independently wrong.
The best answer, I don't know. I'll just, for the sake of conversation,
and we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for coming. Subhanallah al-Azim wa atubu ilayh.